Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today we are gonna have a very interesting story, in fact, and despite my best efforts trying to kind of like avoid making these videos where I'm directly yelling foul on Kabammd, and I have largely contained myself to actually reviewing the content that they release, what I think about it, and the champions that they release, and I have tried my best to stay out of all of these controversies about whatever we have. The backdraft intercepts and this and that and the bugs and what should compensations be, so on and so forth. But for this one, I definitely felt the need to kind of speak up at this point, because this is a very familiar situation. So by the thumbnail, you probably guys already know what we're going to talk about, and that's going to be this new bug fix that Morningstar and Black Widow Clairvoyant has received, and for the purpose of the video we're going to refer to this bug fix as a SheHulk treatment, because just like SheHulk, all of these mechanics existed in a game for above, I don't know, half a year at this point. Clairvoyant has come out and has worked in one way specifically, and so did SheHulk. She was functioning for extended period of time the way she did as soon as it became evident that that can be used to take down this champion boss, which is kind of like a treasure trove for Kabammd, because Act 6.2 General is a large piece of dump, a waste failure, call it how you want. I call it just a smoking pile of garbage, and by far probably the worst content Kabammd has ever created in this game. But it still makes them money because people still want to progress, because despite how cheap, underhanded, childish, stupid that piece of content is, people still need to get through it. And many people are currently stuck there and spending a lot of units and research to do so. Now, with SheHulk turned out to be by far the most effective option to defeat champion boss. And clearly Kabammd at that point had to rectify the situation and immediately fix the bug that had existed in game for 2 years, largely, without a doubt in my mind, brought to their attention by the fact that it was used to defeat this goldmine of a content in their mind. And now a similar situation is happening with Black Widow Clairvoyant and Morningstar, because in the last 10% they used to be able to heal up while they're level 2s, or in the case of Black Widow Clairvoyant, or just in general by Morningstar. But apparently now you can only heal when you are dealing damage. So effectively that means that these two champions in particular are not able to heal whatsoever in the last phase, thus making them significantly more shit against the last 10% of the champion, which were two of the most popular uses for these champions and had existed in games since champion came out. It's just once they took away SheHulk, these kind of became some of the dominant options, and especially in case of Morningstar, her popularity started to raise quite recently, and we're gonna get to it a bit later. So obviously, in my mind, the way I'm looking at it, Kabammd could not stand for a mechanic being used against the champion boss, and especially because Morningstar is relatively easy to acquire champion, considering that she's one of the older ones. And yeah, so Kabammd had to do something about it. Now, whether that is or is not true, actually, for the purpose of this video, is irrelevant. Even if there is no malicious intent behind this bug fix. Let's say I'm going to put my pink glasses on, I'm going to take these ones off, I'm going to put on the brand new pink ones on, and I'm going to look as naive and childish as I possibly can at everything that's happening. Assuming that this was legitimately a genuine bug fix that was brought to their attention by, I don't know, by lack of better word, snitch or whatever, or by an unsuspecting player, or Kabammd employees noticed it by themselves, whatever. It was brought to their attention and they realized that gaming, it's not working as meant to be working, and they fixed it. Fair enough. Let's assume the motivations behind this bug fix to be pure and good. The problem, the collective problem here, is the fact that they had allowed it to go on for over half a year, basically since 6.2 came out. And the question is, do they bear any moral responsibility for the implications it has caused? So right now, I'm going to jump onto a different scene. We're going to go to Kabammd forums where this is being discussed right now, that basically somebody is reporting that Black Widow Clairvoyant is not healing up in this champion fight anymore, and it gets swiftly shut down. I have seen many forum posts basically get also deleted right in front of my eyes as I'm trying to refresh the lane, and then you get directed to this known issues forum, and where there is like a slight mention that resolved in next update, blah 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 blah, that the healing's taken away. So Kabammd currently on forums actively is kind of like hashing every single thread that gets opened about this. But all of that being said and done, fair enough, they fixed a bug. Let's assume that it was not an intended mechanic, fair enough, and agree to Kabammd, and let's assume that there was no malicious intent and no agenda behind it, or any reasoning for doing so. Then that still leaves us with a very high question: does Kabammd bear any moral responsibility to rectify the situation with players? Because in current state, 6.2 is by far the hardest piece of content in game, and many people are stuck there. So looking for these answers, largely often for the champion fight. It's typically the Mr. Sinister fight and the champion fight in 6.2 that people are kind of like stuck on and waiting for. And champion fight typically is the most expensive one, and would arguably be one of the more expensive fights in the game for many players, because it is highly skill required and roster specific fight. Therefore it's an absolutely horrible fight design, if I may add. But all that being put aside, the point being is, currently, if you are a player who's stuck on 6.2, let's say 2 weeks ago, and you got a Morningstar, and that's your ticket, that is your ticket, without thinking of any other uses for that champion, you see 6.2 right in front of your eyes, you take up Morningstar as quickly as you can, you go in there and you try to smash out the content just to realize that Morningstar doesn't work anymore for the last 10% because she cannot heal, and that no retreat lane is gonna be left undone for whatever. Or same case for Black Widow Clairvoyant, you're looking for an answer, you know the Black Widow Clairvoyant destroys champion, for the lack of a better word. You immediately rank her up, even if you don't like her, even if you don't want her, just because she's an option for a piece of content that you're stuck on. And that is a very, very real scenario for a large group of players who are currently waiting for the perfect answer for the champion fight, or at least a decent answer, to be able to finish exploring their 6.2 or Act 6, or even complete for the first time, or whatever. Right, and the biggest problem here lies that obviously influencers, YouTubers, so on and so forth, how advertise these adoptions. For instance, here we can quickly, if I type in Morningstar MCOC, one of the first videos that comes up is why I ranked up a Morningstar by Seaton. Again, this is not meant to say anything negative about Seaton. He did actually a good job. He showcased that Morningstar is a fantastic option against the champion boss, and the reasons why, because she was working in a very specific way and she did a great job. So currently 32,000 people have seen that video and are thinking that if you get a Morningstar and if you're struggling with a champion boss, that is your go-to action. Rank up Morningstar, destroy champion, progress in game. Or in case of Black Widow Clairvoyant, member of CCP, which in this case happens to be a legacy. Again, absolutely not a single word or bad implication to legacy for posting video, because this champion functioned that way 6 months ago. So today, if you rank in, if you pull Black Widow Clairvoyant, you put in YouTube, you don't even put anything else, you put in YouTube Black Widow Clairvoyant, one of the most viewed videos made is this specific video made by Legacy, which showcases how she shreds the champion boss. And again, this is not a dig at any of these YouTubers in particular. If the situations can be reversed versus some of my videos, that also can be the case. For instance, I still have the video old SheHulk mechanic, but that's fair enough. But currently what I'm saying is, if you were to pull Black Widow Clairvoyant right now, today, or okay, maybe not today anymore, but I don't know, yesterday, type in Black Widow Clairvoyant 6.2 champion boss, this video comes up and she shreds it, and you rank her up based on that information. And then apparently it was a bug that had happened in game for 6 months. By the way, 52,000 people have seen this video, and they can't defeat the champion, because this was effectively advertisement for Clairvoyant to be one of the better options for even like no retreat, because she healed back to full with every single special attack on the last 10% there. And that is a problem where Kabammd, in my opinion, should take some sort of collective responsibility, because they did not push out any sort of announcement when these champions came out. This had gone on for half a year. Thousands of people have seen these videos and have been informed by these videos. There was no in-game mail, there was no announcement on forums, and currently they're just trying to brush this issue like it's just a bug fix and they have absolutely no moral problem of fixing a bug. Well, the problem for them should be by letting that bug be around for half a year and either genuinely not knowing, therefore being incompetent about their own game, even though there are CCP videos and some of the most popular MCOC videos showcasing it, but they're still fair enough they can claim ignorance and incompetence, or they just can say that they don't care and they don't feel morally obliged, which is kind of what they did with SheHulk initially, right? Up until a point when everybody was yelling foul in every Reddit and every forum thread, and they had to do something. And I am typically very largely against rank down tickets and stuff like that in general. But in this case, again, Kabammd has to do something, in my opinion. They definitely need to be called upon it. You definitely need to make sure that they are aware that people are pissed off, because these are some of the more prominent answers to the champion boss that they have changed. And aside the fact that it still sucks overall, even if they give you your rank down tickets, they're still not going to give you back, for instance, your crystal shards, which you went for specific crystals trying to acquire these champions, like in incursions or, I don't know, featured champion list or cavalier crystals, and they won't reimburse your units, so on and so forth. The very least I think they can do is let you take down these champions if you choose to do so. Now, I personally love my rank 2 Black Widow Clairvoyant regardless of this fight, and that was not why I ranked her up, but at the same time I can fully accept the fact that there are plenty of people who ranked up Morningstar and or Black Widow Clairvoyant just for this champion fight, and just how Kabammd can claim plausible ignorance or stupidity that they did not realize that it what had happening in the game for half a year. Any single player who has these two champions ranked up can now claim plausible ignorance and plausible in kind of main motivation to defeat this champion boss, pretty much. So there would be no way how to distinguish between that. So I think Kabammd has to put on, first and foremost, an apology, accept the fact that they dropped the ball once again. And second of all, they do need to let players know exactly what's going to happen, and whether they're going to issue champion-specific rank down tickets, whether there's going to be any sort of other adjustments, reimbursements, and most importantly, perhaps most importantly, they need to learn going forward. They didn't learn from SheHulk thing, they didn't learn from that thing. They finally need to get it in their thick heads that if any of these issues come up in future, they don't need to try and shut down the threads discussing it. They don't need to sneakily sneak it in some sort of release notes. They need to make a public announcement saying, this is an issue, this is the earliest we kind of realized it, we're working to fix it. Do not rank up Morningstar because you think she's going to be a great champion counter and she can heal up in the last 10%, for instance. She's still going to be good against the champion, but she's not going to be as good, and she's definitely not going to be as good for the last 10%. But instead of trying to kind of hush the whole thing, Kabammd should own this crap, should find these issues as quickly as possible, and should publicly announce the fact that there is a problem with champion X, Y, and Z, they will be changed, and inform everybody as quickly as possible. So that's my personal stance. So let me know what you guys think, and let me know how do you, most importantly, let me know what do you think Kabammd will do right now. Will they just kind of pretend it never happened, or will they actually respect communities' concerns, I don't know, communities' anger, and actually try and work with us? Either way, that will do for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, well then, I have Baby Yoda to show you. See, I promised Baby Yoda. That's definitely not Kabammd. So this is for all the players who ranked up Morningstar and Black Widow Clairvoyant. This is for Kabammd in particular, but that's me done for today, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.